Hi everyone, welcome for today's session where we're going to talk about special time in your family. Why am I bringing up special time today after so many weeks of us being in this lockdown position? Because now time for repair has definitely started to kick in. Firstly, let me remind you that before we enter any conversation about special time or helping our children, we need to understand that our children's mental health is deeply linked with ours. While we are facing the stresses that's available around us, that is bogging us down, our children are faced with one stress: how is their parent feeling? Because we're that primary caregiver, we're that sunshine that they depend upon for their energy. In this situation of COVID and quarantine and working from home, it's taken us a long time to figure some balance out for ourselves. Hopefully, a lot of us are there. We know what to do when we need to get into meetings. We know how to handle our children's work and demands. And we are now able to move beyond those basic hygiene factors into now getting into that mental health, which we put on hold, importantly so, for such a long time. So, what is this mental health doing to us, and what can we do to make things better? Just as when you first start a new job or for children when they start a new school, you're not looking at building relationships at first. You're just keeping your head above and trying to get to know the lay of the land. Let's look at the last month or so as being that process. We've kept our head above the water and we've just been trying to understand what is going on. Hopefully, we're there a little bit. We've got some amount of grip of how we need to proceed, and we know a little bit about what the lay of that land looks like. Just as at work and in school, what we do next is try to then build relationships. We look, where can I anchor that ship? Who are those people who can be there for me, who I can join for that coffee break, who can be there essentially to repair that sense of connection when it is lost? So when I'm having a tough day, whose desk will I go and chat a little bit at? Now, in the COVID situation, we have reached that point as well, hopefully. And if not, we can talk further about it in other sessions. Please just post a question and I'll be there to answer it. So, hopefully, we have reached a situation where we've got that head above and we've got that lay of the land. And now it's time for us to start building those connections, which means it's time for us to start showing our children that we're available for those connections. Special time is a great tool to use to get to that. It is almost like a booster to wherever you are, wherever this dearth of connection has brought you in your relationship with your children, it can repair it very quickly, very effectively, very efficiently. We use it a lot. And we believe it helps in create a harmony between the adult and the child, the using of this tool. So what is the baseline? What is this special time? So first of all, let's understand that we are in control of the child 23 hours, 45 minutes of the day. The child is not in control of us. I'm going to repeat. We are in control of the child 23 hours, 45 minutes. Child is not in control of us. So special time is that balance 15 minutes that we can give them so they can be in control of us. Why? Because them being in control of us satisfies them enough to allow us to be in control the rest of the time. Let's talk about what does this control look like from our side and their side. I'm going to talk about children being in control because that's special time a little later. I want to first make sure we understand the environment and the context very well to our conversation. So this 23-hour, 45-minute we're in control means I am creating a safe boundary for my child in which my child is operating. This is not where my child is pulling my strings all the time and I feel like I am the puppet in this world. Why is this important? Because our children do not have the faculty or the brain power yet. It is not developed enough for them to be in control of their environment. That is why they are children, and that is why we are custodians of this time. It doesn't mean we take over, it means we create that sense of safety. So think about it like the police officers you're seeing on the street. They're not entering your house, they're not entering your building unless there is a sense of threat. So we are not entering children's personal spaces, whatever they may be, depending on their age, depending on their cognition, its needs, etc. But our job is to help them. So me seeing a police officer on the road is not supposed to be a sense of threat. It is supposed to be a sense of safety. That when all else fails, they will be there to protect me. Similarly, your child needs to feel that sense of safety that when all else fails, you will be there to protect them and their world. So, being in control of their 23 hours, 45 minutes looks like I will give you a safe place to sleep in. I will create safety where you can have your emotional outbursts if you need to. I will make sure that your choices come from this closed set, which are safe. You don't have to go and find something for yourself. I was recently talking to a new mom, and she was feeling overwhelmed with making those choices for her child. She said, I'm so tired of reading and finding out what I should do at every moment. Her brain was constantly short circuiting because there was too much that she was needing to do or was expected out of her to do. Just like that mother was feeling overwhelmed because she was postnatal, she just had given her delivery, our children also feel overwhelmed when they're given too many options and choices. So we need to moderate those options and choices. We need to create that sense of safety for them so that they're able to operate comfortably and utilize their ability in a manner that feels safe. So that's what we mean by being in control at 23 hours, 45 minutes. So in pre-COVID times, you wouldn't ask your child, do you want to go to school? You decide, no, you are going to school. You might decide to have a sick day today or just play hooky for a day. That's perfectly all right. But whether to go or not is clearly a decision that lies with the parent. Whether your child needs to sleep at 7, 8, 9, 10, it is a decision that needs to lie with the parent. Every decision we make, of course, is not easy and needs to keep in mind the needs of our children and the bigger picture constantly. But there's still decisions we need to be taking. So that's what I mean by you're in control that 23 hours, 45 minutes. So, what is this special time and why is it significant? So, special time is giving our children that control for that shorter period of time, that 15 minutes. And I use that 15 minutes symbolically. It could be 5 minutes, it could be as short as 5 minutes, it could be 20 minutes. I don't advise taking it longer when you're just starting out with the tool because you need to get used to it and comfortable with it. But there are experienced instructors who do it for large periods of time. So we do it for half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, etc. So special time is time when my child is given the reins. I've created a safety for them. So I've put a timer. So first things you start off with a phone and you put a timer on it. And once whatever time you've decided to do special time for, and you turn the phone and put it upside down. That is telling your child that I am not watching the clock. I am submitting myself completely to your sense of time. At the same time, there is a bell that's going to go off, which will tell us, okay, now we are done. The roles are going to reverse back to normal. So, first thing, We set a time and we tell the child before that this is going to be the time, and we set a time. Second thing, if there are any limits that you're going to have, so for example, right now the limit is we can't leave the house. A limit that I very safely like every parent to reiterate is if there is blood, I'm going to say no. So we're not going to agree to jumping out of windows, we're not going to agree to play with knives and stuff like that. So making sure that safety is in your hand. The next, some parents do struggle with some other, for them, certain situations are very triggering. So I've had a parent who said, we're not going to watch TV or play on the phone. Another one who said, we're not going to go online shopping and do any expenses. So I leave that to you to make those finer distinctions if you need to. But it's important that these rules are set before special time starts. Now, don't worry, in the beginning, you might not be there yet, and you might have a bit of a struggle in figuring out what it is that you want to say. And initially, you can say, we're going to go as it, I'm going to try to do everything that you ask me to do. And if I can't, we're going to have to, I'll give you more options. So give yourself an out for sure, just so you warm up to the tool. So we set there's a timer that you're going to set. There is there is any conditions that need to be given. From our perspective, safety needs to be the only condition. But whatever else feels comfortable for you, you know your child best. So that condition needs to be given. The third thing you need to ensure is you are absolutely free. So this is not the time where you take any phone calls. This is not the time when you tell what needs to be cooked or get distracted by a sibling or your spouse or any other member of the house. This is time which you are completely and 100% focused on your child. So even if it's your boss calling on the phone, pick a time when your boss is not going to be calling you. Put your phone on airplane mode if you need to. Do what you need to, but your child needs to believe that they are right there. They are number one in your world right now. And that's really the essence of special time, to show our child how important they are in our lives. A lot of people argue saying, but how does my child not know that? Every single thing I do is keeping in mind the safety and the needs, etc., of my child. How is this even up to question? Very easy. Your child's understanding of the world and your actions are not the same as yours. They don't know what it's taking out of you to keep up the house safe, to make sure there's food in the fridge, to make sure that uh, that there's a roof over your head. They are just seeing the day to day within their circle of vision. So just like when a newborn baby is born, their visibility is a really small ring. Your child's visibility keeps growing. And when I'm saying visibility, I don't mean just what they're able to see, or what they're able to think and perceive and understand of the situation. So for them, they need something much more literal to understand that you believe they are right here. We need to show it to them. And special time is a great way to show it. I promise you, it's a lot of fun. So, like I said, you set the timer, you put down the conditions, you need to make sure that you're free and available, and that's it. You start. You say, okay, here's the timer, I'm going to do whatever you want me to do. And often your child will be very incredulous. What do you mean you're going to do whatever I'm asking you to do? And you say, yeah, you tell me, and we'll do it. And your children will take that into some very interesting territories. So let me share with you a few things that my children have done and people who've done this with me. I mean, we do workshops, and special time is one of the tools that we teach in them, which is taught by this organization in America called Hand in Hand Parenting. And I am their instructor in India. And we've been teaching special time for many years now, and we have this beautiful collection of stories of what it has looked like in families. But unless you're going to try it out, you're not necessarily going to know the beauty of special time. So I do encourage you to try it out. Just as a disclaimer, there seems to be a malfunction in my comments feature. I'm going to try to see if I'm able to get it to work. But in case I'm not able to see any comments that you are posting, please, I'll get to them after we're done with the session. I think there, I see us. Yes. Volume is off. There we go. Yes, I see us. Okay. Hi. Hi, Prathma, Shubham, Arvinda, and a whole lot of people who are watching. Thanks. Hi. I've just been able to figure out the comments and I am here with you. So, to share with you some of the stories that people have shared when they have done special time. So, it falls into some broad categories of what children do and how they respond to special time. First, they might test you. So, I had one parent who shared with me that there is this one part of a house which is very dark. It's where they dry the clothes, and she just hates that room. It's a small, tiny room behind the kitchen. There's no windows there. It's just like a storeroom where also clothes are dried. So it is a little humid and damp. And the moment she asked her daughter, "Would you like to do special time?" her daughter said yes. She pulled out a game of Ludo and said, "I want you to play this with me in that room." That's what they're going to do. They're going to push you out of your comfort zone, wherever it may be. And she was shocked. She said, "How does my child know I hate that room?" Well, she does know. But how did she think about it? And this was a 3-year-old. How did she think about it that that's where I want to go right now? But that's where she went. Another parent, when I shared this, you need to do special time, she said, "I know what my child is going to want." I said, what do you think your child is going to want? And she said, "My child is going to want me to watch Chota Bheem. It's a cartoon with her, and that's it. And I hate Chota Bheem, and I don't want my child to watch these cartoons." And I said, "Well, for that 15 minutes, try to like Chota Bheem and watch it with her." And she was a little upset, but she went and she gave it a shot. And she came back to me and I asked her, "How did it go?" And she said, "Well, I sat down and I watched Chota Bheem and I started getting excited about everything that happens with the characters and the storyline." And she was like, "Something very interesting happened." And I was waiting for that. I said, "Okay, what was this very interesting thing?" And she said, "The entire time my daughter was not watching Chota Bheem, was only watching me watch Chota Bheem." So for the child, it was so overwhelmingly exciting to have mom watch her favorite show. She couldn't believe it that this is how magical special time is. She is not only going to let me watch it, she's going to enjoy watching it with me. That it worked out like that. It's not always so good. I'm going to share with you the other side of the story. This one parent who'd been having a very difficult, he'd really been at odds with his teenage daughter and things were not going too well. And he came to me and said, "What do I do?" I said, "Well, start off with special time." And he said, "Okay, I'm going to try." And he did. And she slammed the door on his face and said, "Stand right here and don't disturb me." And that's what I want for special time. And that's again very typical of what we see in patterns of special time. She was just testing him. Is he going to stand right there and do as I have asked him to do? Or is he just giving me lip service? Because that had been the stumbling block in their relationship. And he stood there. And here's what he did. He kept writing little notes of "I love you, I'm there for you," and kept snipping it under that door. And he had put down the special time timer for 20 minutes. And about 10, 12 minutes later, she actually opened the door. I'm not saying they'll always open the door, but they will notice whether you're there or not. And I have numerous stories which mirror this particular one. another parent during special time. So they live in a joint family, and the mom had been struggling with a lot of things going on in the family that weren't feeling too comfortable for her with the other members. And her son was sensing this. So the moment she offered special time, he said, okay, and started running away from her to other family members, expecting her to follow him. And as she followed him, he kept saying, Bachao, Bachao, I don't want to do special time with my mama. And she kept going in front of each member and saying, please, can I do special time with you? I love you. I really want to do special time with you. And this pattern continued a few times before he was actually able to start playing a game with her. This other child, during special time, he this is a funny story. He asked the mom to get into this really awkward position. He said, lean back, do this, and move your ankle, like get into this angle. And you see that tree? I want you to count the leaves. And he disappeared. He left the room. And the mom was like, I was feeling like a real fool, and I'm sitting and counting the leaves, standing there, and I'm wondering, what am I doing? Because special time was supposed to be my time with my child. But after some time, he came back with a board game and said, okay, how many leaves were there? All right, now we can play a board game. So they're really testing the ground. They really want to know, do you still love me? How much do you love me? How hard can I take it? They don't realize that you've been to hell and back for them, going through labor and whatnot, carrying them and sleepless nights, etc. Because that is not their realm of understanding. This is. If you can count leaves when they ask you to, they believe you love them. And that's what special time does. It offers them that space. I've used it numerous times in my family to help bring back connection. And one such example I'd like to talk about is when we were traveling. And I was busy actually with Hand in Hand and a couple of conferences that I was attending. And my children were really, they were with their grandparents, and they were really being throttled from place to place, and without having me around available to spend time with them or do things with them. And even though I was learning special time and studying special time, it didn't occur to me I need to do it till things got really hard. I couldn't wake them up, I couldn't make them eat meals. I would say, let's go to the park, and they would be like, oh, we don't want to go. There was just this sense of listlessness and disconnection. And I don't know how it happened, and I don't know why it took so long, but finally a batti jalod, and it was like, okay, Megha, let's do special time. And I asked them, okay, guys, let's do special time. I'm not joking. They jumped out of the bed like bullets. They were already familiar with special time. It was obviously not the first time we were doing it. And they jumped out of bed like bullets. And so here's the important thing to remember. I'm going to continue the story, but I want to illustrate this. I want to emphasize this point. We do not use special time as a reward. Special time is not a barter, and it is not to be used. If you eat your food, I will do special time. If you finish your homework, I will do special time. Your children, the moment you start offering them special time, are going to be so excited by it that they're going to be ready to do anything. So it's almost going to feel like, why am I letting go of this gift which has fallen onto my lap? This one time I had a headache, and I wasn't in the mood to do special time. And my daughter was like, Mama, please, 5 minutes. Okay, Mama, 2 minutes. Okay, Mama, 30 seconds. Do not give it. It's not a barter, and it is a gift that you give your child, not with no returns. So it's something you give. So you decide when you're feeling capable and able of providing special time. So it is your prerogative to decide, yes, we can do it, or yes, no, we cannot do it. And you do not ask for something in return. So going back to my story, they jumped out of bed like bullets, and I said, "Okay, I'd like to do special time with you. Here's how we can do it, because we hadn't eaten breakfast and we were staying in a hotel. I needed them to go eat breakfast. I said, I can do one special time now while the other gets ready, and I can do the other one either over here, or we can do it. We were going to go to a mall. We'll do it in the mall. And immediately they were very quick. There was no argument, there was no sibling rivalry, nothing. One said, I want to do it right now. And the other said, I'm going to quickly go get ready and pack my bag because I want to do it in the mall with you. I said, okay, perfect. So the one who wanted to do it right then, we sat down and she filled up things in this bag. And she came up with this elaborate game where she spread those things out. And she said, well, this is the shop and there is a shopkeeper. I said, okay, are you the shopkeeper? She said, no, the shopkeeper has gone out. The shopkeeper is not there. So the shopkeeper has asked the assistant shopkeeper to take care of the shop. I said, okay, are you the assistant shopkeeper? She said, no, the assistant shopkeeper is also not there. The assistant shopkeeper has gone to the toilet. The assistant shopkeeper has asked me to be the salesperson. So you have to come in and shop. I said, okay, that's elaborate. My mother-in-law has just come in, so I'd like to say hi to her. Hi, mommy. I hope you enjoy this session. So going on, she created this elaborate system of shopkeeper, assistant shopkeeper, and her. And every time I had to, okay, I want this item. How much is it for? She'd say, okay, let me ask the assistant. The assistant will ask the shopkeeper, and then the shopkeeper will tell the assistant and will tell her. And there was this continuous through and through happening. And I realized that, and we played this multiple times. I realized that it was happening, that she was really playing out this feeling of being throttled from place to place, this feeling of being shuttled around, not having any direct say or direct access to me. And Special Time played the role of providing that instant direct access to her and me together. So it's really amazing what it can do. And in that same time, like I said, my other daughter, she said, we're going to do it in the mall. And she filled a bag up with art stuff because for her, Special Time is really about doing art with me. And as we went into the mall to do that, she was so sorry. I'm just trying to get back onto the comments page. Okay, I'm just going to get to it later. So as we were able to do that, as we sat down to do Special Time there, it was really just 15 minutes of us coloring together. And the rest of the time in the mall, she was like my assistant. She just wanted to follow me around, carry my bags, and do whatever I wanted her to. So the previous 2 weeks of dragging their feet and being really irritated just melted away by these 2 sessions of Special Time that we did. So it's really amazing what it can do for you. We're doing Special Time, of course, in our house a lot. We use it in various ways to bring back connection after a long day of work and studies. We could do it to play a board game. It's really whatever the children want us to do. It could be used to cuddle in bed, but it's important that they feel they are in control. Yeah. So that's what Special Time is all about. Chachadi is also there. Hello. It's so lovely to have so many family members watch and see what we have to offer here. So, but what about times when you're not able to offer Special Time? Because no matter how exciting I might make it sound, I know for a fact that it's hard, it's not easy, and there are many times when we're just not able to do it for our children. And I was listening to Patty, our founder, talk about it actually earlier this week. And I loved the analogy Patty brought in. And she said, I like to look at it as a wilted plant. So, right now with COVID times, you have so many things that you need to do. And it's very possible that the last thing you want to do is take care of the plants. And some of the plants might be withering away and they might not be taken care of because it's just too much and something's got to give, and let the plants be that. And she said that's what we tend to be, we, the parents, the caregivers. We take care of ourselves the last. So if I'm finding it hard to provide Special Time for my child, it means I am that withered plant. So what do we do to a withered plant? we take care of it. So let's please realize and understand that even though I'm teaching you a tool to take care of your child, your ability to use that tool or act on that tool or do anything about that tool is going to directly be related to your taking care of yourself. So ask for help if help is what you need. If you're feeling overworked, ask for help. If you need somebody to talk to, identify who that talking to could be, when it could be, etc. But we need to recognize that we are the wilted plant. We need to rejuvenate ourselves so that we're able to offer that connection to our children. So that's it from me today. A little bit about special time, and I hope you do try it in your family. I am going to get onto those comments as soon as I'm done with this because I don't know, some technical glitch that I'm not able to see all of them. But best of luck, and I'd love to hear what special time in your household has looked like. So till next week, this is Megha Mawandia from a Corona cave in Mumbai, India, talking to you today about special time. Take care. Be safe.